All right, let's see if this works. I can't tell. Let me go to settings. Yeah, they hit it hard. That's one of the things I want to talk about with you. It's one of the things I want to talk about. Can you hear me? Because I switched microphones, but I think according to this, it's working. See, this is exactly what they want you to think. I don't, the honest answer is I don't know. I don't know if it's done for. Thank you, Lou Grasso. These are Ham's dogs. I think he called them Rocky and Bullwinkle. No, Rocky and Bear. Rocky and something. I can't remember the other dog. I'll try. He's going to come on, I think. I talked to him, but he's tied up with his dogs. This is something. I know you want to talk about GBUX, and we will. We will talk about GBUX. But somebody sent this to me this morning. And I wonder if I sit over on this now, because the camera centers everything. But I think the window on your world is over here, not here or there. I think it's over there. Anyway, Trump is, it looks like he's green lighting a audit on Fort Knox's gold. And what I just want to point out to you, whether it happens or not, whether it goes through, this is a level of awareness like I can't think of an analogy, but it's, in any event, I won't come up with an analogy. This is something that will instantaneously get everybody thinking about the gold in Fort Knox. Do you know, for 20, 25 years, I've been studying, reading, and I'm not saying that that's any great shakes. I'm just saying that no one was talking about it. A few people, old guys, kooks. But now everyone will be talking about it. Let me show you. All right, we'll get back to GBUX. But let me just show you something. I'm so nervous about my website in terms of it's cold here. I even put on a small jacket because it's cold. Although it's warm inside, not 100%. But man, outside. Whew. All right, let me see if I can find this. I just worry. I don't know why I got a strike or whatever the hell I got a warning. But let me see if I can show you this.
This is absolutely crazy. Right now, there might not be any other asset in the world that's been snapped up like gold by central banks, global investors, businesses, and regular people all at the same time. And the key here is they are all going after physical gold. This could be the biggest scramble for real gold we've ever seen. And with this frenzy, global gold prices just keep climbing, hitting new record highs almost every day.
On February 11th, the COMEX gold futures price on the New York Mercantile Exchange
rose
to $2,960 US.
$2,960 US. I'm afraid to let that run any longer. I got to find out what the rules are. But that's Asia, that's China. Now, with everything, you've got to, in a vacuum, you don't know. I don't know if 6-hour lines to buy gold in China, which they just showed, and it sells out. That might be normal. I mean, that might happen every month. I don't know. But according to this site, China Observer, it's unique. It's happening right now. Well, less than half of 1% or half of 1% of your brainiac money managers, whether you invest in an ETF or a mutual fund, or you go straight to the chick that handles your account at Morgan Stanley, or the dude, that kind of action, Trump calling attention, that kind of panic could come here. Now, I'm not saying it's coming tomorrow, but we're all human beings. We all basically react to things when we're in a crowd. Well, you all do. I tend to want to get out of the crowd. I'm trying to move to the sideline or go the other direction. It's a lonely existence. Dating is a lonely business. Wait, William, someone told me you were going to put GTII in your title. We are all still behind it. What's the update? Will we get a mother of all squeezes? You're an asshole, Joker, IRL. You're here to gloat and make fun after you shorted the hell out of the stock and people here lost money. As far as I'm concerned, you can go to hell. Hey, Frank. Hey, John. Hey, Mark. How was our court hearing yesterday? I listened to the call that you guys listened to on Sunday, so I wouldn't have to. I listened to it anyway. And, or was it Monday? I forget what day it was. I watched about 20 minutes at the beginning and I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes at the end. And that was pretty painful to watch. I will say that, as they say in the South, bless his heart, that document, I suspect is the same document, the one that Richard was going through with a fine-tooth comb. I read that document. I think I have it printed here somewhere. And I said to Michelangelo, you can't use this. This is crap. You've got to. Anyway, that's what happens when you try to save resources on lawyers and all that, and just throw a document up there. I don't know that that was intentional. That can be fixed. The document can be fixed, but it wasn't a very good document. You need a lawyer to go through it, and I share the instinct to try to avoid spending money on lawyers, but it's the world we're in. But my point is, I don't want to say that I don't think that was the final document. I really don't. All right, let's see where we are. Yeah, all right, Cliff, let me give you my, I have a small position in GBUX, as you know, and Ham will come on, I hope. I called him, he had to get off, he was with his dogs, and I hope when he's free, he'll call in and he'll go with an hour-long talk, of course, which is fine. But to my reading of what's happening with GBUX, it got over 10 yesterday. And let me just see if I can pull it up here. And if I had money, I would buy more now. That's what I would do. I'm losing money, so one could argue, well, you were making money at 10, not a lot. So now you're turning a winning trade into a loser. But if I had more money, I have roughly 200 shares, give or take a tiny bit. If I had money that I could do it, I would buy 100 more shares now. So I'd have 300 shares. And I guess I have two lessons. One relates to silver, but let's put that to the side for a second. Just talking on this. Ham's been helping one gentleman who I know and respect and am grateful for and wish the best to. But that guy bought, it's his business, but that guy bought GBUX when it was under $1, and he has a nice position. And I'm sure he's worried maybe today it went to 10. But when I was talking about that trade last night, I said, oh my gosh, I think I would take a little bit of a profit here. If you had it at $1 and it went to 10, take a little, or take a chunk. But I was busy yesterday and I didn't, and I'm not in it to trade it right now. I'm in it to see it if and when it squeezes. But now that it's pulled back, anyway, what I want to say is when you're buying it under $1 and you're hearing that it's going to have a good year and Goldman Sachs this, Tom Ronk that, and big short position, and we don't know, and it's what I'm told. Well, you buy it at $1 or 80 cents or whatever, and you got a little bit of risk. Your biggest risk is you're going to wait and nothing happens and your money's dead for 6 months or 3 months. But when it runs from that level, you're feeling pretty good, and you don't have any more risk. But what else don't you have? You don't have to panic in to buy. You don't have to participate. You don't have to pay $8 like I did. You're already in. You're already in. That, my friends, is a message I want to get across regarding physical silver. It's now $34. It was $28. I would consider buying silver under 50, under 60, as buying GBUX under $1.20. If, which I think will happen, silver pops to $90 or $100, then you're in the position like I was with GBUX, where I feel confident silver's going to, let's just pick a number instead of a series of numbers. I think silver in the proper period of time, so I'm not saying overnight, be worth $3,000 an ounce. Is that 9 months? Is that 2 years? Just some undefined amount of time, be worth 3,000. So if I'm given that opportunity and the silver price is running, and in my brain, which is what I want all of you to do as we go through this, in my brain at some point, just like the Chinese consumers I just showed you, I'm starting to measure my stability and my economic viability in gold and silver, and to John, platinum. I'm starting, as I address my life, to look at it as if I'm my own central bank. I'm minimizing my debt. I'm focusing on things in my little economy that I know how to do, and I'm buying gold and silver. Anyway, as I go by, I start looking to my net worth as being how many ounces of gold, how many ounces of silver I have. So in that context, if silver's trading at $90 and I haven't bought it, and people are saying, hey, you're not in, I'll buy it. Why? Because $90 will be cheap. I will have physical silver. But I also, as I've expressed, and I'm paralleling other people's thoughts, I think we're going to have a run up in the stock market. I think there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm. But some point, I think as soon as this fall, maybe next year, the world is going to come up against a hard landing and flip over on the runway. I only say that because nobody died, but as I'm talking, there's, I think, 4 people in critical conditions, so we have to pray for them. But my point is, I think the economy can nosedive, and then the market, the stock market, will come down. And then in that first massive, how do you say that word? Paroxysm of destruction to people's financial balance sheets, probably the Fed will act. But it'll be like 2008 on some sort of steroidal multiple, I think. So what will happen as people are leveraged out, as they have to pay their mortgage, or as they are about to lose their $80,000 truck, they'll sell their silver. But on a hedge fund scale, there will be cash calls, and as gold and silver are up, and as gold and silver are liquid, and people are going to be looking for sources of liquidity, because we're all human, as I said. If the Dow's at 65,000 and it opens at 52,000 one morning, oh my God, the panic, and things are going to get sold. So let me get to my point on silver, which I'm trying to relate back to GBUX in my situation. Silver right now you can get for all day long at $40. If it runs to 90 or 100 or 120, which is what I think it'll do in the short run, but it's going to break out. It's going to go to the all-time nominal highs. But if a hard landing comes in the stock market or the bond market, silver is going to come crashing down temporarily. It's more volatile than gold. And so let's say silver got to $90, let's say by June. And let's say I don't have any money now, but suddenly I have money then, so I jump in. And for a while, a couple of months, it goes up to 100, 110. I'm feeling good. I'm talking about me, not you. And then let's say in September, October, the markets crash worldwide because the economy makes a hard landing. Well, then silver from 100, let's say, I bet silver from wherever it runs in a short-term high, it could pull back to 40 or 45. And guys like some of you will be going, oh my gosh, is it over? Well, that's the human emotion. And I'm susceptible to it as well. But I think the key you have to do, I have to do over the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, if we get that long, is to start to see our long-term economic viability in terms of what assets we hold that are not US dollars or any kind of currency. Now, the US dollar could be strong, until it gets changed. It can be strong relative to every other currency for as long as we're in this situation. But I think it is clear there's going to be a repricing of fiat currencies. Fiat means paper money that can be issued on a whim by a government. I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but what nags at me is, and that nagged at me in 2000, before and after 2008, everybody talks about the government printing money or the Fed printing money. I don't know. It feels like to me that the hedge funds and the financial system, both in the United States and worldwide, credit cards, mortgages, margin loans, private equity, I think they're who create the money. But I've never read anything about it, so I feel crazy saying that. But if a private equity hedge fund wants to buy, I don't know, Heinz ketchup, that's too big, I know. But let's say they want to buy, 5 guys named Mo. Well, they'll go buy it with some equity, but they'll borrow the rest from a consortium led by, I don't know, Goldman Sachs and Madison Dearborn or something. Those are the guys creating that money. In any kind of way I can think that through. It feels like the Fed and the federal government, when that liquidity and that buying power and that increase in asset price happens out in the financial markets when people default on those loans, be it credit cards, student loans, mortgages, private equity loans, hedge fund loans, whatever, margin, that constricts the buying power and so, you know, some measure of money supply, some expansive measure of money supply. And that's deflationary. So I think the Fed and the Treasury are playing catch up to that. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The storyline, the comic book story goes that the Fed prints money. Well, as it relates to what I just finished that off, if the stock market crashes later this year, that's going to be scary. And I think the Fed will come in and print and print and print, if that's the way you want to describe it. What I really think they'll be doing is buying all the defaulted bonds of hedge funds, the defaulted bonds of banks, you know, the assets banks created that are in default, from credit cards to loans on mortgages, everything. They'll buy everything. And I think it'll work one more time because everyone wants it to work, is probably the biggest reason. They don't want to look at what's really going on. So David Hunter says he thinks the Fed will increase their balance sheet to 20 trillion. And it was, I think it got as high as 9 trillion sort of in the folks period of life, maybe into a little later. I don't know why they'd stop at 20 trillion. To me, I think they'll go to 50 trillion. I mean, as long as people are accepting it and trusting it, I don't know why they'll stop there. So I think there'll be a rebound in all assets afterward. So it'll give us one more chance to readjust our lives out of currency, out of debt, out of financial assets, and into gold and silver, oil and gas, real estate. The trick with real estate, is your house real estate or is your house a proxy for a bond? I can't figure that one out. I cannot figure that one out. I suspect it's a proxy for a bond, and that it's valued on what yield it can give to a hedge fund buying every property in the country. And the statistics are out there. Everybody always pays their mortgage. Well, I don't know about that. If things get desperate, people will pay their phone bill, they'll pay their natural gas bill, they'll pay their water bill so they can take a shower. They'll write letters to Congress, and they're going to buy food and water and diapers. So I don't know that real estate will stay up, will stay strong. So anyway, just on that side, if silver were to go up, pull back, that's another chance to buy in. All right, let's take it back to GiveBucks then. And I'll just use my own example to you all. I could have bought had I acted, but I didn't act. I was busy, distracted, worried, depressed about something that happened in my life, and I just put everything out. Well, I could have taken $800 and purchased GiveBucks, I don't know, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. Let's just say 80 cents. I could have bought 1,000 shares. I didn't do it. That's kind of my analogy. I went through that whole example. That's kind of like you right now. And if I had me right now, we could be buying 100 ounces of silver for $3,400, $3,500. But we're distracted. We're focused on other things. We got this and that and all that. So anyway, I didn't buy it. But then as the story starts filling in just the way Ham was talking about, and GiveBucks goes from $1 to $10, I jumped in massively. I'm such a big shot. I jumped in for 213 shares I have in my IRA, 213 shares. Well, I paid $8. No, I think I paid a little more than that. I paid for 99, I paid $8, and then for 100 something, I paid I can't remember, 830, 835. So let's just say blended, I paid maybe 8 1/4. So I got in because I believe what I see in this stock is a trap short. And I think they're behaving in a way that shows that they want to scare you, scare me to sell. But I don't think we're the big players here. I think something else, we're just riding along. But all right, let me give you the risks. The risks are we are the only players. I don't think that's true, but that's a risk. The other risk is somehow the bad guys come up with a way with their offshore buddies or with their ties to regulators or their ties to hedge funds. They come up with a way to drive this down and profit from our purchases. And I suppose another risk is for some reason the company would do a deal with a Jeffrey Lind. Those are about the risks. I mean, in the context that it's just another company trying to make things happen so you can nitpick on their story. Anyway, those are the negatives. What I see with GiveBucks is a stock that I didn't believe there was going to be a short squeeze started at $1. I didn't see the parameters in front of my nose. And I heard it's going to be a good stock in 2025. I thought there'd be time. But now all of a sudden it is trading like these guys are in trouble. So if I had the money right now, I would buy 100 more shares at $7.50. Then I would have 300 shares. And what I would do from here is I expect this stock, I think it's going to go much higher. I think this is the pause for the cause. I think this is their last attempt to try to shake people out. It probably is getting some people to sell, but and rethink everything, because it's all an emotional trade. This is complete emotion right now. I'd say both sides, but probably on their side, they've done it so much, and they've had so many wins, and they use computers. It's probably more emotional on our side. But I come down on the side that GBUX is going to rally, like, I don't know, like a cork popped off a champagne bottle. It is going to, at some point, doesn't look like it'll be today, doesn't maybe look like it'll be tomorrow, but I still think it has all the characteristics of the fact that these guys have to cover the shares they sold. Now look at it, the mechanics of what's going on. It was $10. That was a massive margin call. Here's the problem. I'm assuming that the prime brokers and the system, the brokerage firms will have to enforce the margin call because they're losing money. But if they come up with a way of merging this account with SAC or Ken Griffin's accounts and buy time, maybe they can dead hand it out of here. I don't know. What I read here is, and I could be wrong, I guess. I'm hemming and hawing because I just want you to know I can be wrong. I think they got in trouble at $1 and $1.20 and $1.50 and at $2. Just because they got it down now from 10 to 760, it's less of a massive problem, but it's still a huge problem. Those guys are still going to come knock on the door on Tuesday or whatever day, we'll give you a week, and bust this borrower's knees, this gambler's knees. So I think there's no magic to it, but I think if I had 300 shares of GBUX, if I bought some here, I would expect next week maybe that the stock's going to it has the potential for this huge short squeeze. So I would, if I had bought 100 more, I'd basically have it at $8, 3 times 8. So if the stock went to $25 or went to $30 or $40, I'd sell 100 and I'd take all my money off the table. And then I'd have 200, I'd let it ride. I'd probably put 100 out at 75, 80, 90, $100. And I'd probably put the other 100 out at, maybe 144 or maybe 200, 233, something like that. But I would use this pullback as an opportunity, if you care, to buy a little bit. It's a risky trade, it's speculative, but it's as close to a short squeeze in front of our faces as we've been in for a year and a half or 2 years. And they don't have the option of options. They don't have derivatives. They don't have Jeffrey Lind helping them out. They have 100 million. They don't have to go to the market and kneecap a squeeze. And they, according to Ham's numbers, they have 1.7 million shares short. Let me see if he's called back. He's probably having his own call. Oh, he did call me back. Let me see if I can get him.
Hello.
I didn't see you called back. I went live, and I was going to let you know I went live, and
Okay.
I'm live now. But I know you're with your puppy dogs, which I
No,
showed
I
to
could
everybody.
talk for a few. I have to run out, but I could talk for a few. You ready to go?
Yeah, let me put your dogs up. All right, go ahead.
So as you can see, the attacks continue in GBUX. This is a common occurrence. This is what they do all the time. Everyone, this is what I would do if I was short, because these guys have nowhere to go. They're so trapped. So I have people that I talk to, and they were using an ATOP to buy stock. They're not going to pay more. We'll stop there. And this way we take the volatility out of the stock. As you can see, they just come in, they hit, and they run, and then it's just, they never bid. They always make the bids look worse. Like it's always 779 where it is now. You know, they drop it as far as they can. And that's what they do. There's nothing else I can say. I can't stop this fraud. This is the fraud that everyone on this phone has been watching for years. This is how they robbed you. I'm sure everyone's been in a stock that's been attacked like this, that know what the hell is going on and learn how to fight back. This is how you work when you're fighting these criminals. This is the only way to do it. All right. Who allowed them to even to have a position down at $10? And then you can see the attack down. The only reason they're selling it down is because they can't meet the margin call, which I put up every day. All right. They're getting calls for money and they don't have it. So they just go out and attack it and it relieves the pressure. All right. So I think, and just like another gentleman just said to me, at $10, they fold their tents. It's over with. So the way to do it is let the company do its business. I'm sure there's more stuff to come. We all know there's things going around. They raised $100 million. There's no rush or panic. The company's not raising money. They have the money. And what do they do next? The story is it's coming out of big places. We know big places mean big deals. So these guys have no choice. I told you the volatility, William, always has to come to the downside. They never have the volatility to go to the upside. When they have volatility upside, that's when people will sell. No one's panicking out on the volatility to the downside. And it's like I told everyone, never, ever use a stop loss, because these attacks, they touch them. Let's say you had a stop loss at 750. They took you out at 720. They use that to knock it down. That's what they do with the stop loss orders. So again, that is just something that was created, I believe, by the short sellers. And you can see how they probe by selling 100 shares, and they sell 100 shares at the market looking for that stop loss order. And when they hit it, you take it down. You're the one that gets taken out. If you want to sell, I always told you, sell it when they come for it and buy it back when they don't want it. So if you missed the opportunity, if you wanted to trade it on the upside, which you're welcome to do, I could care less. When it was running to 10 and it looked great, you could have sold some. Some people have. And people are buying it back. A gentleman just told me, our airline friend just bought it back. He just told me he bought the dip. So there's plenty of people that learned how to do it. Selling the rips, buying the dips is a way to stay and lower your cost all the time. And that's what people are doing. All right. So the company fundamentally has $100 million in the bank. $100 million.
Well, not technically yet, but they have that commitment. It's coming.
Well, listen, if anyone's going to sign a fake commitment, they're going to jail. So
No,
I know.
I'm being technical.
I'm looking at it as saying, okay, you know what? To me, it's money in the bank.
Yeah.
You can say what you want, but there's money in the bank here. These guys just keep playing the game, moving it around, up and down. And like I said, I told my friends, don't pay more than 8. Just stand there. These guys want to manipulate it.
So one
8.
of the questions you got just now is, where did the 8s go?
What do you mean?
They're standing there buying it at 8.
They don't sit there with orders. When they order it down, they pick them off. That's what you do. If you stand there at 8, they never sell any, right? We want them to offer it, and then someone will pluck it. I know 5 people just bought stock.
Okay.
You know, they don't sit there and put an order for 50,000. I don't control everybody. They do what they want, but they know that they're not paying more than 8. So they'll be there, and maybe they're bidding 785. I don't know. They'll keep poking at it. There's no reason to charge up and take it to 9 today. And the way to do it, the way to handle it, is get to 8, get it firm, take these guys and say, okay, there's no more volatility. The bids will keep coming, and then watch them suffer. Then we march it to 9. You know what? And maybe at the end of the day, my friends are pretty good guys. They know how to come in at the end of the day at 357, like they want to sell it down. Maybe at 357, we take it back up. I don't know. This is a game of complete fraud. And the SEC, the DTC, your brokerage firms all allow this to happen. These people should be taken out in handcuffs, the whole paper trail behind this thing. You're watching it in real time, manipulation of not 50 cents, up and down dollars due to security fraud. How the SEC allows anything like this to happen, going up and going down. Obviously, these guys are shorting it on the way up. There's no reason for a stock to run like this unless there's people short it. And that's what was going on. They were panicking, they were moving back, and that creates the short squeeze up. Then they stop and they attack it down. This is completely nothing to do with the equity markets. Zero. This is all fraud. And it's hard to stop it. I can't stop it. We can fight back. So we fight back. This is the way you do it. Nothing else to say. What else can I say?
So Barbara bought more today, and she has 99.
I hope she bought it on the dip.
She did.
Please tell me
she did, and her average price is 723, which is pretty good, I think.
Yeah, so you're still there, and that's what you do. Listen, I can't, guys. This stock has got $100 million in the bank. This is not a speculative stock anymore. All right, this is something that's building the fundamentals, and they have the money going into the company. What are they doing with it? The hell do I know? But they have the money. Someone gave them $100 million. I'm sure they know what they're doing with it. All right. So this is very different. Finger motion is very different. The money was raised at $1.50. It's $1.14. Who's selling it down here? Doesn't make any sense. But again, I'm speaking with a guy who owns 4 million shares at 1 o'clock today. So I have to get on that call in a little while. I'm going to try to see if I get him to, buy another million. All right. So again, these are things that go on. I can't stop this. We're not going away. Again, I'm not roaring kitty where I put a post up and disappear. We stand here and we fight. I called him out 20 times to come join us if he wanted to learn. Crickets, obviously, he's a one-hit wonder. And I believe he had no idea what the hell he was even on to back then. But you know what? God bless him. I'm with him. But, if he would want to stand up, him, Ryan Cohen, they're all full of shit. They all disappeared. So I don't believe in them. Go ahead.
So there's a few people here in GBUX. Brett says the borrow desk for GBUX, there's 1,000 to borrow with a high borrow rate. But anyway, what do you think is going to happen today, tomorrow, early next week with GBUX?
Listen, my team, my people are on the accumulation.
Okay.
That's what they do. They don't stop. They accumulate, and whether it takes a week, a month, they know it's here. The company fundamental has taken 90% of the risk off the table. All right. So I look at it as that. The company's fundamentals are here now. And you know what? It's not a speculative play. So these guys short, and I raised my number based on today's data. Tomorrow is going to be 1.9 million shares is going to be short. All right. The average price is getting close to 3. So the price is going up, the average price, because they're selling stock higher, but they're selling more shares, William. All right. So they're in a catch-22 here.
Is there any firm like an SAC or a Citadel that will help them buy time?
No, nobody's going to help them.
Okay.
This is completely minor league fraud team. That's who's here. It's the minor leagues. This is not real professional. If you can't see that these guys are rookies, I don't know what to say to you.
So they didn't get bought in at $10, but they've sold it back to $7.50. It seems like there's still a problem, a buy-in problem at $7.50.
Nothing is changed.
Right.
Zero has changed. These guys are sitting here on life support. The only reason they attack it that fast and that obvious is because they have a problem. Do you understand that?
Right. I do. Yeah.
No one does that. No one likes to go rob a bank when everyone's standing there when you have no mask on and you're standing there. No one does that. The only people that do this type of crime are people that are in trouble. And that's what you're saying.
So, obviously we're not giving any financial advice, but it as a theory, would you buy more here? Or
absolutely buy the dip. Yeah. I wouldn't pay more than $8 for it.
Don't pay more than $8. Okay.
All right. Well, listen. They're following they're setting the tone today, right?
Yeah.
They're telling you, hey, we're dying here. We need to do this. That's what they're telling me. We have no choice. We have to do this.
And do you think there's any real selling today? There must be some.
Yeah, sure. 200 shares were sold.
200.
That's what they did. I wish I could say it was more, but it doesn't. I watched it. It doesn't look like it. I can't imagine someone running in there when the stock's driving down. Sell my 500, sell it at the market. Hurry up, it's going down. If you did that, you're a fool. You fell into the naked short selling scam.
Wow. This gentleman, his friend just bought 45,000 shares of Finger.
Nice. Where is that trading? I'm not even looking at it right now.
I can't tell. I've tied up all my screens, so I can't.
Listen. I told you I believe it's going to happen between now and March 21st.
Okay.
All right. I put it up there. I bought options. I told you, my timeline. I did everything I could tell you. It just feels like it's time.
It's $1.14 right now.
The only person who's sitting here playing games here now is a manipulator. There's no one else. Or the gentleman that just bought the stock.
So are you happy with your puppy dogs? What are their names?
I can't believe, William, that I got up at 5:30 this morning. I went to bed at 12. They were out of control last night at 11:30. They went to bed. I got up at 5:30. I thought I was going to wake up with a whole thing of shit and piss. I woke up. I walked in. I looked at them. They were just sitting there, waiting for me to take them out. They went on the pads and went to the bathroom.
No.
It's like they came trained. Once you take them out of the pen, though, it's like the Wild West. You never know when they're going to stop and go.
No. Good little guys. So one's the runt?
Yeah, one is smaller, one is bigger, and the runt is like beating up the big guy like crazy.
I remember going.
I
remember going to get my dog when I traveled. I went to London for a little while, and I left my dog at this great trainer anyway, I knocked on the door to go, and she would have all these dogs, and she let me in, and I looked through the the doorway to see him inside where all the dogs were. He was up on the couch, and he's this American Staffordshire or maybe Pit Bull, but he's up on the couch, and there's 3 or 4 tiny dogs on the floor jumping up, playing with, and he's scared of them. Size doesn't matter to dogs. There's something else going on, or maybe the dogs get worried about small dogs.
They jump. They just keep little biting or teething. They try to bite you. That's what they do. But so again, finger motion. My timeline is between now and March 21st. I bought the calls. I believe that's everything. I've been documented. I think it's coming to a head, and I think that's the timeline. I think we'll get this special dividend. I think the earnings end of February. I think it is, William, the year end.
Yeah. It's the end
So we
of
got that
February.
coming up, right? We have that, so we'll get details on that big contract that they needed the money for. So we'll see how that's going. I think Elon Musk and the DOGE team is going to be on top of the SEC. I know 50 people that have written to the Doge people, and that's just my people that I know, all about naked short selling, nothing else. Because we're all looking for what's the waste at the SEC. What's the waste? They use too much toilet paper? What is it? We don't even know what the waste is. Not enforcing criminal offenses is the crime. That's what I think they're going after. Elon Musk posted somewhere this morning, someone retweeted it, I copied it. He said short selling should be illegal. This is a guy who's on our team 100%. So just bear with it, and he'll take us to the promised land. I think this is the way Trump is going after them. Trump has given Elon Musk the opportunity to go in there and just hammer them. I don't think you can ask for anybody better to go after them. So for the gentleman that bought the 45,000 shares, congratulations. I think you're going to be rewarded greatly.
Do you know who the short is in GBUX?
I do not. All I know is that OTCN is notorious for getting orders out of the UK. They said the Cayman Islands in the UK. So OTCN, it's an ECN that's used by offshore people out of the UK. That's what someone told me. I don't know who it is. I don't know. It could be some fool in the Cayman Islands who's sitting around who wanted to trade the stock and he got caught upside down.
Are they just trying to buy settlement time by moving shares to different LLCs, or they're just trying to get us to sell?
This is a Broadway production of trying to get you to sell. That's what you're saying.
It's not working.
They think it is.
But it's making people nervous. There's a lot of people here worried that the momentum is broken, that is it over?
I think so. That they have no idea what the stock market's about. Right. Momentum was broken in route 20 times. Then it went to 140. The momentum was broken in many stocks. And then they scream higher. This is an effort to get you to bail out. If it was 2 years ago, I would say, hey, you know what? Maybe you're right. Elon Musk, the Doge team are going after naked short selling. And these guys are caught at the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs and 2 strikes. That's what I see. They came to the naked short selling game and they're getting it at the wrong time.
Right.
That's how I see it. So for those who have that defeatist attitude, you're always going to lose because you don't belong in the stock market because you really don't understand how it works.
Well,
if you're going to panic, if you're a nervous person, when the stocks go up, that's when you trade them. Holding a stock is not for you. That's just the way it is.
Point. When they go up, just get out and ignore the fact you might miss out on a bigger move.
Yeah, that's it. Don't worry about it. That's it. Don't just go out, make a few bucks, and move along. Yeah. It's for other people. Other people are the ones that make the big home run swings. That's how it works.
That's right.
If you want to nickel and dime them, there's no shame in that. Just nickel and dime them. I wouldn't suggest trading these names to nickel and dime them, but I would suggest you go trade Tesla, NVIDIA, things like that, because those move, 20 points a day either way.
Yeah.
So I would do that if you're into that. So, but you can't come on and say, the momentum, you have no idea what momentum. Go look at Root. I talked about it. It went from 120 to 63, and then I watched it bounce back up, and then all of a sudden it went from 83 to 140. And now it's been selling off. Why? Because the short's covered. That's what happened.
So has there been short covering in GBUX yet?
No. Yes, you know what? Something, William, I'm sorry. I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
The short sellers paid 10 for yesterday, and today they're selling it down to 7. Does that make sense to anybody?
No.
Then yet, absolutely, they did not cover anything. That's correct, William. Good answer, William.
right, so I'm the idiot.
You walked right into it, William.
Yeah.
How does it feel to get punched between the eyes? I'm having someone make a Mike Tyson hat. Mike Tyson has been with Trump, and there was a photo of this morning with a Trump hat on.
His
I'm
hat
making
said,
it.
re-elect the MFer.
Yeah. Right. Now it's going to say Mike Tyson, take it short, enforcer. We're going to get that viral with Mike Tyson.
Do
He'll
shorts,
pick what the, yeah.
Brett wants to know, do shorts ever cover?
No, they never covered. Root went from $7 to $140. No, they never cover.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's very human, by the way. We're judging this by our experience in a couple of other stocks, and we weren't in Root. I wasn't.
We talked about it every day. I did talk about it, right?
You did. From a
I've been
low
following
number.
it for a long time.
From
right?
a low number.
We've been talking about it for a long time. I talked about it when it was getting shorted down. I talked about it when it went below $1. I talked about it when it went to reverse it to 25. I talked about how they sold it back down. I knocked on Jim Jordan's door. I described the whole thing to him. But now the shorts got caught. Whatever who was left in the stock got caught, and you see what happened. It went to 140.
That's the thing. We never know exactly when it's going to happen. Do you think GBUX is about to happen, or do we have to wait?
I think it's close to happening.
Yeah.
I think it's very close. I think it's within days. This is the sign of the death rattle, whatever you want to call it. These guys are so desperate to try to hold it down that now they're just making it worse. I have it, and other people have it viral all over the place. It's been sent to the SEC. It's been sent to the FBI. I sent it to Doge. I sent it everywhere. All the information, the data, I sent it all. So from being a pimple on the ass in the corner of the stock market, it's now a highlighted stock, just like GameStop is a highlighted stock, or Finger Motion, or DJT.
So if they had a huge call for capital at $10, they still have a big call for capital at $7.50.
Oh yeah,
They're not buying
question.
any time by doing this, right?
I think the big mess is the margin money. At $10, where I was saying it was $11, that had to be $13 or $14 yesterday. Remember, the prime broker get money in.
So
that's the devastating part.
So the prime broker was saying, I'm going to make up a number. We need $15 a share when it was
Times
10.
2 million shares, right? Let's say 2 million shares.
Yeah.
We need $30 million right now for margin.
So by getting it down under 8, the prime broker might be saying we need 11.
Okay, make it 10.
Or right. 10 instead of 15.
You know what you can relate this to? That show Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
As they turn over the bigger numbers, as the bigger numbers stay on the board, the person that gives them the buyout, the numbers are higher. But those numbers disappear, the number goes lower. That's the same thing on naked short selling with the prime broker. That's it.
And when Meghan Markle gets married?
As the stock goes higher, the prime broker raises the margin requirement. Right. When it goes lower, they reduce it. That's it. It changes all the time.
So that's one incentive to drive it down, is they don't need to come up with as much money. They're either lying to themselves that they can come up with the money, or maybe they have it. They'll foolishly throw it in the fire.
They can be rolling or washing trades, moving it out of this account into another account that they own.
Right.
So I'm saying it's 1.9. They could easily in 2 days move 100,000 shares into 10 smaller accounts that they have that they manage.
Can they move it over to Germany or England? And
they can't do that. They can't just make it disappear. If they could make it disappear, okay, but the gentleman is asking that, why would they sell it down then if they could make it disappear?
to get
Why
money.
would they let us sell it at $12, $13, $14, right?
Right.
Steal all you can. Why do they want to steal less? They want to steal less because they have a problem. That's the only reason. And they can't run, hide it. No one's helping them out. You can see it right there. If people were going to help them out, they let it go higher. You can't buy us in. Oh, yeah, that's why they're moving it all over, trying to knock it down.
Right.
That's why finger motion stays in the same spot for days, because they can't let it pop up, because then they have a huge problem. There you go. It's a huge problem when it breaks out on news or fundamentals or whatever's coming. That's when they fold. Right now, they're just sitting here. They're trying to buy time.
Right.
Listen, everyone. There's stocks that naked shorts have, or they get involved in. This one seems a lot different because this one has money. Money brings you fundamental power. GameStop has been going up because he has money, not because any technical or anything they're doing. Right? I don't see what they've done. But they have money, so everyone's valuing, oh, they have money. Well, this one has money too. So again, the company has the fundamental news. Finger motion raised the money at $1.50, has the fundamental news. To me, there's no risk until it's north of 150. I don't even know why anybody's even playing games down here. You sit there and say, well, it's trading 250,000 shares a day. Well, if somebody bought it at $1.50 and they want it out, they're gone by now, right?
Right.
How many days can it go on? They can't sell it forever. So who's holding it down? I think it's short.
So today's Thursday. I guess they're going to try to hold this position over the weekend.
William, it could end in 1 second. I can't tell you when it's going to go.
Right.
Crude exploded in one day of $20. I told $22. I talked about it. The shorts couldn't hold it down anymore. They just took off on them. That's what happened. These guys have a problem pushing it down. The company's fundamentals are worth a certain dollar amount. Where are they going with it? If the company didn't have any fundamental news, then it would be a different story. Then it would be an air pocket. I got it. Finger motion has the news, the fundamental news, and the money to make it north of 150. Who's selling it at $1.14? Nobody. Not only that, they print so many, they wash it so many trades down here, I'm tired of even watching it. I gave you my timeline on it, and that's what I believe. I'm doing it based on the Doge, the company's fundamentals, the company's earnings, the company's special dividend. There's plenty of things that are upcoming that we've been waiting on. So I just thought that was the right time to do it. And if it's everyone on this call, go watch The Big Short. One guy said, oh, don't trade options with him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. In The Big Short, those two kids made all their money, they said, by buying cheap options. They won big or lost small. As you notice, I'm doing the same thing. That's the way to play.
Well,
if you could figure out the timing, that's how you do it.
I know you've helped people make money trading, so people can listen to you or not. There's no perfect answer in any situation, and it's all a test of emotions. That's what it is.
Right. Anything else, William?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Where are the stocks at right now, Drive?
Well, your one is at 830, GBUX, 820, 830.
So where are the people who saying, where are the buyers? So I told you they were using an 8 top. So they support it, and then it pops up.
Phil bought some at 740 this morning.
Nice.
And there's a big push here for GME. Look, GME, if it has another run, I personally don't think it will be as high as the last one. And you'll have yet another chance to get out before the company raises money.
Right.
In my opinion. But, you know.
Listen, the last time it went to $80, how many squeezes do you want?
Everybody wants to hold on for the mama.
So you hold on. That's it. So again, I think there's better players than that one. But if you want to play it, I told you before, buying the dip, selling the rip on that stock is great. Because why? Because it has a good shareholder base, and they all believe buy the dips, sell the rips. So they don't sell the rips; they buy them. They buy the dips. So when you buy it and it goes up 50 cents to $1, you sell it back to them. You make money all the time. I get 3 people do that every day. Some days it takes a day and a half. Some days it takes 2. Some days it's instant gratification in that name. But they've been making money with it for months.
So Big Orange says, we need GBUX to go. All our profits are going to go to Finger. Yep.
I only hope everybody makes a ton of money. I can't believe that the government allows these criminals to keep doing this stuff. It's just remarkable.
I side on this side that this is the pause for the cause, and it's going back up. But, you know, there's a problem with predictions. You don't know.
Listen, listen, you don't know. This isn't, this isn't normal. This is security fraud 101. You're learning how to trade security fraud. But security fraud works 2 ways. When they get caught, you can become rich off of it. And that's what I've highlighted to everybody. Because these guys are teed it up for you to get rich. Now in GBUX, it's a thinly traded stock, and it's very hard to get rich off of it. You can make a lot of money off of it, but it's very hard to get rich. A stock like Finger Motion trading at $1.13, $1.15, okay, that's a stock that you can really accumulate and really make a lot of money if you wanted to play. So there are 2 different types of plays. GBUX can make you can probably make $30, $40. Owning 1,000 shares, you can make some nice money. It can go higher. I mean, the more they sell, the higher it's going. That's just how it works.
Okay.
Any other questions?
People are asking about the truck. We'll do a truck again.
I can't wait. There's no one in front. Who's in the SEC? I don't know who to address it to. I don't know.
Doesn't feel like anybody was there the last 3
Do I
years.
address it to Donald Trump? I want to address it to Atkins once he gets in. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's easy to throw Hester Pierce under the bus. I don't know who this guy who's in charge right now, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but whoever that guy is. I don't know who he is.
GME is 27. You better get in. GME is 27. Oh my gosh, it's going up. GME's going
No,
up.
I told you.
GME. You better get into
If you bought it at 20, if you bought it at 26, 26 and a quarter, 26.50, sell it at 27, take the 50-cent profit, buy the 30 calls, and never look at it again. What else can I tell you? That's the only way to do it.
GME, it's
Sometimes you
finally
win.
your chance to make a killing in GME. You gotta buy more. Oh God.
Listen, you know what it is. I told you how to. Listen, certain stocks are buy the dip, sell the rip stocks. GME is a classic. Classic. PJT has been until they did some sort of financing. I don't know the terms on it, but I'll figure that out later. I haven't really looked at it. And, again, Trump, Devin Nunes would make all that noise and for no reason. So, they're investigating it. They're sending the Doge people in, Elon Musk into the SEC. Elon Musk is on our side. He hates the short.
GBUX is up $1 since you got on here. It's 8.44.
I told you the key to the number one thing is stop the volatility. William, they need volatility. No volatility, they die, right? That's it. You can see the volatility.
Big Orange is making a prediction, which I happen to think is a good one. He says they spent all their bullets, $10 soon. I don't think that's.
I agree with him. It's hard for me to tell you that. So the only thing I could tell, or people that are novices in this game, is to find a spot, park your ass. Maybe they sell it to you, maybe they don't. Another way to do it is to buy 25%. If you did that this morning, and let's say you paid 9 for 25%, wherever, well, I'm just saying, I don't even know what it was this morning, and you bought some at 8 1/4, then you bought some at 7 1/4, you would have an $8 average, and the stock is $8.40, you would be up. That's averaging it.
Plus, the other thing is just do a small trade, and if it busts, it'll hurt, but you don't care as much. I don't know.
Well, that's what I've told people. I told people a bunch of times. What did I say to buy? 100 shares, 1 share, just to be there. This way you can see how it trades. You can understand the trade. Maybe if you bought 100 shares at 5 and you sold 100 shares at 10 and bought it back at 8, you can sit there and say, oh, I made 5 points. I got back in at 8.
What's ILLINI? Is that Illinois?
I don't know.
Big Orange is coming to Madison Square Garden to see the ILNI on Saturday night. ILLINI.
Illinois. I guess that's Illinois the college basketball, the basketball team.
Yeah, so if you want to bring your puppies to Madison Square,
you go around to 33rd Street and see my friend Raphael. And after he takes a gun out and shoots you in the leg, you'll learn never to go around the corner
it's
again.
Illinois versus Duke. Hi, Duke.
That's a good game.
Yeah.
I don't go to college basketball games. I go to hockey
still
games.
wish they had left the train station up and built that stadium somewhere else.
Yeah, they should have did that a long time ago. But yeah, I go to hockey games. I go to the Ranger games. That's what I like hockey. College basketball. I can go see the college basketball game. Call me up. I'll come in with 2 minutes to go, and I'll get the end of the game.
Big Orange will buy you breakfast Sunday morning.
Hey, I'm a big eater. Breakfast. That's my move. Buy breakfast moves. I told you that. That's the cheapest meal to grab.
Hey, Big Orange, stop stealing my moves.
That's my move. Are you crazy? I'm the first guy to grab the check at a breakfast meeting. Although I don't know, with the price of eggs now, it may be cheaper to buy a steak. I don't know. When it comes to the steakhouse, William, watch me run when the check comes. I climb out the window.
All right, so this is I'm trying to think. It's a question that people need to learn. I'll let you answer it. Can you explain, please, the leverage in options when? All right, I'll read it. Can you please explain how the leverage in option works when selling?
When selling?
That's.
I can explain why you buy options, because you get more leverage. I can't explain why when you sell options you get more. I don't understand the question.
Yeah, it's not.
Options give you an opportunity to get very large using a small amount of money.
So do you want to go into your riff about GTII again? Because Mike Kellerman hasn't been bludgeoned over the head by your answer enough.
You want me to explain what's going on in GTII?
He says there's new news on GTII, and how can he keep in touch with the news?
It's all over Twitter, number one. It's everyone's talking about it. You can just Google it yourself. But the gentleman that's trying to merge in with GTII is a guy I met in Puerto Rico. He's developed a Bloomberg-type trading platform. Very, very sharp guy, good people. And one of his board of directors, he just announced, is the former CEO of DJT. And just so you understand, the former CEO of DJT is where I was getting scoop from about Trump going after the shorts, telling me they were going to go. He's just one of the people. There's one of 5 people. So I'm glad that he's in our camp now. I know that he's been talking to that guy, and now you know where some of the information is coming on the leaks on Trump. There's one of them. All right, so you got that. But the guy was a former president of DJT. I reached out to the guy, John, this morning, and I told him that if they ever do a financial news show, please reach out to me. I'll be glad to help them. They can put it on their platform, and then he can get it on DJT's platform on Truth Social. We can make the Truth Social Financial News Network. I know how to do that, by the way. So there you go.
Okay. Mike appreciates that.
Big, our good friend out in Arizona said, fuck, trying to buy down here and got nothing. All right, so there's a buyer on a dip, didn't work. I want to tell him, just wait, just stand tall, they'll come back. I'm just going to tell him to use the top.
There's two different people that want to buy you a meal. I don't know if they're shorts or if they're, one guy's a real person, one's Big Orange. I don't know if the other.
Listen, thank you very much. I'd rather play pickleball with you any day. You don't have to spend any money on me. I appreciate it. I'm here to help you. I'm not looking for anything. Listen, I've been doing this since 2000. I lost a lot of money to these characters, and that's why I stayed. My family needs me to support them, and that's why I'm fighting. And that's why I'm angry. And that's why I don't give a shit. Okay? So these guys, I'm not going away unless I drop dead. So I got a clean bill of health. I got a good knee, a new knee, and I'm not going anywhere. Thank God. And I have to tell you, I feel like I'm on this planet for one reason, to fix this. And I've been saying that for 25 years.
David points out that the guy from DJT was in charge of mergers and acquisitions.
And he's in charge of content. Anything else you want to tell me that I don't know?
What's a noonie like?
What's a who?
Noonie? You had
What's
a
a
noonie?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know, either a noon E, a noon E.
Oh, a drink? I don't know what that is, a drink.
It's a bad joke. Pickleball tournament, when we finally win with finger.
Here are all the shareholders. I would love to tattoo everybody. I hit a guy the other night, a young Italian guy, real tough looking guy. He was fucking fuming at me. He started screaming, "Did you aim at me?" I says, "Why didn't you hit it?" You know, what do you want to say? Your job is to return it. Not my job is where I'm hitting it at you, sure, but you figure it out. He
All
stormed
right,
off the
so
court.
here's the question. I'm going to let you answer it because you're good at being personable. So if you buy options on finger, you bought 20 at $1, do you get $19? If you sold them for $1, 20 of them, do you get $19 profit or profit on each share? You know, I really don't know if you're doing this just to, basically when you buy calls, you're paying a premium. That premium consists of a time premium and a speculative premium. So if you buy the $2 calls and the stock goes to 10, I'm making that up, you have an $8 profit minus the premium you paid. It's not that hard to understand.
So if you paid 10 cents for the $2 calls, you have just paid $2.10 for the right. If the stock goes above that number, you will then, if you bought 10 calls, you have the right to control 1,000 shares of stock. And you're doing it for $100. Because 10 cents times, it's $100. That's all it is. $10, that's it. It's $100. That's it.
When you buy a call, one call is equivalent to 100 shares.
100 shares. That's it.
So your question per share might be, I can see where you might be confused and complicated on it. But if you're paying 10 cents for the call, I suppose you could go through the tedium of dividing that out by 100 shares. But in net effect, you're going to sell that same call as It is. So why
let's say
torture
this, William.
yourself?
Listen. Look at it this way. Right now, the March calls that I purchase are 5 to 10 cents. If you buy them at 10 cents, if the stock starts to move up and they go to 15 cents bid, you can sell it and you'll make $5 times 10 calls. You make $50. That's it.
He wants to know, is it per share? You're buying them in round lots,
it's only a block. You can only do it.
So it's basically not per share. It's per 100 shares, basically.
That's it. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just think you're torturing yourself. You can break it down on a per share basis if you want, but that's not what's on offer. They're not selling you call options per share. They're selling them per 100 shares. So that's what you buy. That's what you sell. You can exercise them if you want, but why spend the money to exercise?
Hey, William, I just wanted to show you this on route. I told you how dangerous it was either way, right?
Yeah.
So it went from 83, it went to 140. In 3 days, it went from 140. It's now down another 9 today. It's down to 100. And I forget where it is. Give me a second.
We'll talk about it after Ham gets off, Dr. Dan Strangehill.
Root is now 109, so it's dropped $39. It went up like crazy and it went down like crazy. That's why I tried to tell people it's very dangerous if you're not a professional. These things, the moves are just enormous. All right, but that is a short squeeze that drove it up. And once the short was done, it just fell out. There's no one there. There's no buyers. Longs are not chasing root up to $140. That was shorts trying to cover.
Ham bought 500 calls of the March.
I bought a total of 2,000. Me and my friends, we bought a total of 2,000.
All right, 2,000 of the March $2
between
calls.
5 and 10 cents. So let's say 7.5 cents.
So your punt.
That's equivalent to 200,000 shares that I own at $2.05,
right,
or 7 cents. So if it goes to 10 minus 2 is 8 times 200,000. Right? It's $1.6 million, right?
Right.
Profit. And what did I put up? 2,000 times what? 5 cents?
7.5, you said.
Oh, 7.5. But I'm just trying to make the math easy.
So 14, 15. So you put up 15 grand.
That's it. And if you want to play it safe, just go buy the stock. The stock is an option that doesn't expire. I don't have $200,000 to buy 200,000 more shares, but now I have the right to it because I believe a big move is coming. So I bought the options. That gives me 200,000 shares.
Basically, Ham is ringing the bell. Is he correct? Who the hell knows? But that's
right. I'm giving you my best. I'm giving you my best opinion on the timing of what I believe is going on. I've only been studying it for a couple of years, so I think I kind of feeling of it. You don't have to believe me. I don't care if you believe me or not. I could care less.
Yes is the answer. All right.
Anything else?
The market being down 740 points has something to do with the bad guys capitalizing on this. I suppose. Look, it's just there's air pockets. And when a stock, I was trying to explain that. I'm not very good at it.
William, let me just stop you for 1 second. A new market maker just jumped into GBUX. It's STGX. STGX. Now, why would all these market makers just keep falling out of the sky?
They're not real market makers anyway.
No,
they're just asking.
They don't get any order. They don't get any order flow. It's just a hedge fund telling them what to do.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
That's it, my friends.
The penny dropped. All right.
It's a fight all day long. It's a continued fight. and I can't stop it. I mean, it's criminal. Listen, you think you could beat them, but this goes on in all types of names, right? These guys, you got to remember, these guys are in all these names.
They are the same players playing in every single small, particularly, they do it the big ones too, but they're doing it with all these orphan stocks. And so one stock goes up, they've got 9 that they're making money in. But in this case, you don't think that's the case. You just think it's a couple of numbnuts in Boca Raton.
You could tell it. You could tell it's a bunch of numbnuts by who they're putting into the stock.
Right. Oh, because of the market makers, yeah.
Right.
Crappy
you can tell who they
makers.
are. Anything else?
No, but you should go have fun with Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Bo. My daughter took control of these.
And Balboa.
Not Bullwinkle. I thought it was Rocky and Bullwinkle, but no, we didn't get that.
Rocky
just Bo.
And Winkle.
And she made me spell it Beau. And William, today we received the ashes of my old dog, and I
have the ashes over here. It just is.
It's just terrible. I just got it, and it was.
Mine are heavy. I don't know about yours, but
yeah, they sent me a great presentation. It's just terrible, and you know,
the whole thing. So, it makes me. I got his footprint too.
Yeah, they did that to me, and I didn't expect that, and. You know, my family wasn't home yet to see it, but I'm sure we'll begin the crying again later on.
Oh, it's hard. It's very hard. And at least you have everybody that shared him with you. But it was sudden. He was 7. My dog was 15, I think. And I guess I had a full time with him.
Gosh. Someone just told me you can buy the April 2 calls at 10 cents. So you get another month. So just go buy those if you want to play. Just check them out. They're not the March. The April 2s are 10 cents offer. I pay 10 cents for the March 2s. You get an extra month for the same price. All right? Just check them out before you buy anything. Make sure you understand that. You get more time for the same price.
I was talking to somebody earlier, and that's what I would personally. Number one, I wouldn't do the 2s, but I wouldn't do March. I'd go to April or May. I would do the 1s. I'd pay more, and I'd have fewer because I'm a.
I don't like to do the. So the difference is, let's do it this way, William. If you buy 100 calls at 35 cents, you got to put up $3,500.
It's too much money. Yeah, it's a lot of money.
I could buy 100. I could buy 200 calls at a dime, and that only gets me 2,000, right? Each 100's $1,000. Right. So I could buy 300 calls, or 350, William, for the same price you bought the 100 for, right? Hmm. So look at it this way: stock goes to 10. William has the 1s. He's going to make 10. Let's say 1. You make $9. You make 90,000. I have 300 calls. I just make it 300. I only make $8, right? Because I got the $2 calls. Each 100 calls makes me 80,000. 80, 160, right? That's 240 versus your 90,000. Now you understand why I buy more?
Yeah,
why I do the other ones?
I understand it.
I'm just explaining it to everybody else. There's the math. You buy 100 at 35 cents of the $1 calls. Stock goes to 10. I'm just going to forget the 35 cents. William makes 10 minus 1. He makes $9 times 100 is $90,000.
You're like that first baseman in Major League when he hits a home run. He runs around carding his cojones.
Well, it's not like I haven't done this for a long time, you know. So again, I traded more options. I traded thousands and thousands of out of the money calls. I used to buy 2,000-3,000 at a clip when I was playing.
Mhm.
And if I was playing and I was deep in the money and I had a ton of money in my pocket, I would have 5,000 of them already.
And your mother would say, I don't understand.
She
How do
still
you
doesn't
make-
understand
How
it.
do you make, what do you do?
I used to buy 500 calls and trade them just for 30 cents. That's $15,000 a day. I didn't need to make 20 points. I used to buy
Did
more
I
and
ever
trade them
tell
for
you
less.
that Kristen Shaughnessy's the best?
Oh, I hate her. I would love to beat her ass in pickleball.
Or is it
She'll
Kirsten?
be running off the court screaming, "Stop, Ham, you dirty pig!" She'll be screaming at me. Stop it. I know she's here. She's always around. She's actually learned the game. It's just amazing how much
She
she's learned
actually
since I
works
first spoke
hard.
to her. She loves it. She works hard. And you know what? I can only imagine how good she was when she was doing her reporting before. You know, she is just outstanding. She has so many followers. Thank God. I don't want any followers. Follow her. She's much better than me. I'm just a trader. That's it. I have no knowledge. You know, I still think the world is flat, not round, you know, things like that.
It's round?
That's what I heard. I don't know. I never got to the edge yet, so I don't know. Anything else, William?
No.
Again, just go through the numbers. 1.9 million. They're shorted two. Let's make it. They're moving their average up on this GBUX. Let's say to 3. But now they sold more shares. So at $9, they're still down 6 points. They just keep digging a bigger hole. This is the perfect storm to get run over because they're underwater still by $6. Still underwater.
And that's the trade that you're looking for, is they do get run over. So it goes from 9 to 90. I'm making the target up. In return for that, there's some volatility and there's some risk, but it feels like these amateurs or these cowboys or these opportunistic shorts are trapped. You know, are they? I think so, but we'll find out.
Again, they're short at 3. The stock is 9. 9 minus 3 is 6 times 1.9 million shares. That's how much they're losing. They're trying to hold it down, but by holding it down, they have to sell more shares lower. It just makes it worse. They're just twisting their own balls here. They're just upside down. Finger motion is the opposite. DJT is the opposite. Finger motion short is, I'll say, 380, 375. DJT is $46. So they're in the black on that one. Finger motion, they're in the black until they're not in the black anymore. That happened in GameStop. GameStop, the short was averaged around 18 to 20. I reported on $3.75. When it went above 20 is when the thing took off because all the shorts were in the red. That's when they take off. GBUX is a short squeeze alert. It's in the squeeze area already. Finger motion needs to climb a little bit to get into the short squeeze area. That means every share they're short, the average on all the shorts is that number. Right now, the average on all the shorts in GBUX is 3. Now, they sold some yesterday. If I was a new short seller and I sold it at 10, my short position is, you know, I can make money on it. But for the major part of all these shares, the average is $3.
Yeah.
And that's it. All right, I got to go on the call with this guy who owns 4 million Finger right now, so I got to go speak with him. I'm going to try to get him to buy more. Where is Finger Motion at right now before I leave, Bill?
Let me look if I can find a quote for you.
Give me that GBUX before I get off.
Finger.
114,
120 is what I see on that, and then on GBUX.
Mm-hmm.
I see 825.
So on the finger motion, I just want everybody to know. You know what I know. We got the dividend, we got the Doge people, we have the earnings coming out, and we have the Roth report, which still isn't out yet. There's 4 or 5 things. I'm basing it on all those events coming right around the same time. Just on my gut, I think Doge is going to be really exciting. I think they're going to pound the door at the SEC, and it's going to target naked short selling and counterfeit shares. Not even a question about that. The special dividend, the CEO said it's coming. What day? He's been said mid-December. It's got to come out soon. The Roth report, we've been hearing for 2.5 weeks. It's coming. When it comes out, it comes out. So all these things, and the fundamental news on the year end is coming out. Their $5 million was there to help build out that truck deal, and it drives big revenue. So we get to see all these things. There is no negative. The negative is these idiots keep trying to hold it down. There you go. Take all those things into account, do your own homework, read the stories, watch the videos, and it could be, I believe it's a stock that's going to change everyone's life because these idiots have pushed it down so low that everyone can afford it. And please do not tell me when this thing does go, oh, I missed it. I don't even want to hear that. You have your opportunity, do your homework, get off your lazy ass, and figure it out. Don't ask us to help you out. I'm giving you all the details. You have to pull the trigger. You're the one that has to invest. I can't do it for you. And don't come back at me and say, I didn't do it because you didn't tell me to do it. I made my bet. I told you what I did.
122.
You don't like what I'm doing? I don't give a flying shit. But don't come on to me and say I missed it. I can understand missing GBUX because it was a high flyer, but the company came out with news that's out of this world. Institutions should be stepping in here. This company is now NASDAQ qualified. Think about all the shit they can do. So listen, I have to run and get on this call. Good luck, everybody.
122. 122.
I'll call you later if I see anything good. Goodbye.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
All right. Let's just, for the record, I'm going to write it down. Lion wants you to buy GME. He's putting every bit of his reputation on GME at $26.99, and it's going to move. It's going to go back to 80, he says. So I'm writing it down. 280 Lion, and he's calling it on February 20th, 2025. So all of you out there, don't listen. I mean, listen to the other stories, but don't miss out. Lion is calling it. GME is going to go from 27 to 80, and you have to race into it today, and it's not financial advice. He's saying don't put words in his mouth. All he's done is promote GME for the last 30 minutes of the live. So technically I put words in his mouth, but he is alerting you that he believes GME is a huge squeeze potential. What I think on GME is, like all of these squeezes, what accelerates the squeeze is when there's a surprise movement in the price, hopefully backed up by a fundamental change, or in the case of GME and AMC, it was a lot of people that got excited by it, or there was a buy-in. I personally think there was a buy-in in GME and AMC, had nothing to do with retail, but whatever. So the stock goes to 500 or wherever it went, and people got in. It was on the front pages, and then people get in and they're talking about it, and they're learning about counterfeiting shares, and it's going to be the mother of all squeezes. Well, what did the criminals do? They called their friends. They just happened to be their friends at SAC and I think Citadel, and they bailed out Melville Capital, and they bailed out another group. They're buddies. I don't know how they know them. It's just by coincidence. And they bail them out. and they bought time. The stocks remained high, but they didn't continue their squeeze. They settled down. And while we railed against them and educated everyone and talked about it, and the headlines came and the headlines went and the headlines came back, GME came from 500 all the way back down to, I don't know, 11. Guess what? Those same criminals who were losing on the way up, they got a reprieve by their friends, coincidentally, at SAC and Citadel, and they made money by shorting the stock to us, and they drove it all the way back down. Every time it rallied, they shorted more, and they drove it down. It's like a bouncing ball that you drop from the 10th floor. The first bounce went to the 5th floor. The next bounce went to the 3rd floor. The next bounce went to 20 feet. The next bounce went to 15 feet, and then it stops. And they're still trying to get you to buy GME on the hopes that there's going to be a massive mother of all squeezes. If you want to keep playing for it, keep playing for it. But I personally think that GME is missing 2 ingredients: fear and surprise. They're missing fear, surprise, and an almost fanatical devotion to the Pope. There are 3 things they're missing: are fear, surprise, an almost fanatical devotion to the Pope, and the comfy chair. I think the surprise is out of GME. Number 2, every time the stock runs up, this piece of crap company raises money. They pay off, whether overtly or just psychological manipulation. They pay off the CEO, Cohen, I think his name is. I can't remember for sure. That he might be AMC. But anyway, I think his name's Cohen. They pay him off by getting him to sell stock to the shorts to clean up the problem. But, oh, by the way, what happens? GME gets some cash. Now, GME has an obligation, according to Jim Cramer, to get out of leases, long-term leases around the country. And to my memory, Jim Cramer came up with a number of over $1 billion in cash to just get out of the bricks and mortar leases. I don't know. That's what he says. And it's about a year ago. I don't know if it's current information or not. The company GME had, about a year ago, I don't know if it's still true, but the company had $7 a share in cash. It's trading at $27. That means you're paying a $20 premium when you buy GME versus its breakup value. I'm being simplistic. Breakup value of GME is $7. You're paying $27 right now. Why are you paying that? Well, they've got contracts in France. It's going to be the mother of all squeezes. Oh my gosh, there's an enormous short position. Can you just imagine what's going to happen when they eventually have to buy in? Because Trump's going to look into it. Oh, and you need another reason. Let's come up with another reason. Oh, Roaring Kitty's going to come on. There's something's up. There's a rumor. So, all right, so you're buying GME at $27, and I'm using round numbers. I can be off, but they're worth breakup value probably $6 a share. But let's say the $7 in cash, and let's ignore their obligations to pay off their long-term leases around the country. So you're paying $20 premium on GME on the hope that the mother of all squeezes is going to finally click in. Well, what's your evidence for that? Well, 3 years ago, it went to 500. Well, what's happened since then? Citadel and SAC bailed out Melville. The Citadels of the world came in to help out their co-conspirators in the shorting game, who they just happen to help out. There's no fraternity amongst men here, amongst these criminals. They just happen to help them out. So they stopped the squeeze before, 3 years ago. Yeah, but it's massive. It's so many shares. It's gigantic. All right, what have they done since then? They had at least one run to 85. Cohen sold stock into it to the shorts. They had another run to 60 or something like that. This is the theory, not the exactitude. They sold stock. Cohen sold stock into it. It rallied to 35. Cohen sold stock into it. Rallied to 30. Cohen sold stock into it. So what's going on? Roaring Kitty came out, and he's a genius, and he's rich. You better listen to me. Roaring Kitty is talented, and he's wealthy. All right, so what happened? For all of that vim and boomba, shumbaya, rally, what happened? Well, the shorts were able to cover shares. Now remember, they were selling down from 500 on the way down. So they were raising money from us. I didn't buy any GME, but they were raising money from us all the way down. They have cash. Let's cross it. Maybe they booked a profit on the first trades. They sold a bunch at 400. They crossed it at 85. Huge gains, huge profits. They're able to charge their investors 2% annually, maybe 30 or 40% of that profit. So Stevie Cohen gets rich. Of course, it's at arm's distance, and he goes and buys Juan Soto. But hey, wait a minute. It's going to squeeze. You have to buy these shares. This is the biggest story of all time. I am the greatest. All right, okay. Well, if you're right, they still have to cover the others. Okay, let's buy GME. The chart looks good. The charts look great. This might be the time that it goes from 26, 27 to 270. You better get in it. Well, wait a minute. You're telling me that the big boys have it under control. That's basically what I'm suggesting. They have it under control. They're colluding. The big pools of money are helping the criminals who just happen to be there. There's no connection out. And the company still sells something that has some sort of valuable to a select group of people, but they have leases as a burden. And even if they're selling all of that, their per share value, breakup value is $7. We're paying $27. So we know there's no surprise anymore. We know anytime it runs up that the big boys are going to help out the other guys for some reason. And we also know the CEO is going to raise more money. What else could be going on? Oh, they've been moving the trades to Europe. They've been moving the fails to deliver to Europe. What do we know about Europe? They don't enforce. They not only do they not enforce security laws, North American securities laws, they have no record of the trades in Europe. So, well, you can't prove that. No, I can't prove that. So you're suggesting, William, that the large short position in GME and AMC has been moved to Europe. It's effectively been taken off the pressure points in wherever you want to count it, at the broker dealer, the prime broker, the SEC, Fannie Mae, FINRA. So even if Donald Trump, this hero of Wall Street, comes in and does a study and they track it down, they're not going to find a record of the trades because they're over in Europe and they don't keep records. Is that what you're telling me? Well, I'm suggesting it. Yeah, but they'll still have the record in the United States. So they still have to go back and cover all that. So the stock's going to the moon. All right. Okay. So it's $27. They have billions of dollars of cash. The thing you're not remembering, William, they're going to go buy Bitcoin with that cash. They're buying Bitcoin. So the stock is worth $7 a share in cash. It's trading at $27. That's roughly 75% premium. I don't know, I'm doing it in my head. I mean, it's 4x. Yeah, it's roughly. So for every share, every Bitcoin, they better be buying their Bitcoin at a 75% discount to justify. If I buy GME for the Bitcoin purchase, Cohen better be buying Bitcoin at a discount of 70 or 75%. Otherwise, I should just go buy Bitcoin myself. Why would I go through the filter of GME? Because they're geniuses? They're going to be the next E-Trade? They're going to be the next Amazon? I mean, that's the argument. That's the bull case. The bull case is GME is going to be the next Amazon of this subset of the retail market. And it might be. Look, I'm not saying GME couldn't be a great investment over time. You got to invest the time. Somehow you've got to make up the difference between $7 and $27 per share. Is that because Cohen's a genius? Is it because GME has hit on an idea? Let's sell all of our crap over the internet and deliver it like Amazon, and let's get rid of our bricks and mortar leases. We'll be rich. Okay. Genius. Bloody genius. But is that worth $20 a share? Or as is being proposed, it's worth more than $20 a share to you? I don't know. GME might be another route. GME might be the stock that got crushed, and it took 3 years getting crushed, and then now it's going to go back to $100 or $200, and I'm going to look like an idiot suggesting to you that you should be careful. I don't know. I don't know what you should do with GME, but I am giving you my perspective on it. Please go buy GME. It's $27. On the charts, it looks great. It's got a contract in France. It's got a great CEO. They have cash. They're buying Bitcoin. And it's going to be the mother of all squeezes. I mean, GME is amazing. All right, I've given you both sides of the story. All right, GME is better than Root. Watch. Okay. I wouldn't have bought Root either, so I'm just showing you that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. What I am showing you can't beat the Bay is I have absolutely no faith that there's some sort of check and balance going on. I do not believe Stevie Cohen helped out Melville Capital because they intend to let GME run. But that's, I'm showing that I'm a conspiracy theorist, I guess. We have to go with Ryan Cohen dumped a bunch of GameStop shares last summer and shut down the short squeeze, and he'll do it again. That's my argument. That is my argument. I could be wrong. Yes, Clark, you are speculating. But if you buy the stock, GME, you're not speculating. You are to buy GME here at $27 is a solid investment decision. It's not speculating. Lion of all trades is a great guy. I agree. How is it speculation when I saw Ryan Cohen dump the shares and shut down the short squeeze? When do I get my money from the movie? $250. Pay up, Goober. I hope you're talking about Goober Gensler. Doing that movie, I gave an interview that cost me gigantic amounts of money to go down and do it. I wish that all the pressure that was put on me on that Friday, it's just, it was just fated to happen. But where are you? Why they're waiting for you? You better get down there. Are you dead? Why aren't you? It's boom, boom, boom. And so I went down to the coffee shop at the end of the block from the SEC. We did an interview. We went to the SEC. I took them to lunch. We sat outside, late lunch at the Dubliner, and I got home, I don't know, 4:15. I tried to check my screen, but it was impossible. And the calls had come down, of course. I couldn't exercise them. I mean, there was nothing to do, couldn't sell them. And E-Trade did exercise them at a penny, and then they sold the whole thing out on Monday morning without any time. So it cost me, actually, Raymundo, I'm sorry you lost $250. I lost a number that could have a really significant, massive number. So sorry if I'm not worried about your 250, but I appreciate that you put it in. Now you're getting in the range. I lost 80,000 of AMC unrealized. Well, Clark, I would put out an idea. You don't have to do it all at once. But if you realize some of those losses and maybe bought a GBUX, I'm not saying GBUX is going to work, or bought a GME. A Lion likes GME. Buy GME. I don't know. I'm not putting words in his mouth. Go over to Lion's lives to hear his thought process. But my point is, there's a lot of stories out there that have upside equal to whatever you're holding on AMC for. So you could sell a little bit of your AMC, buy something else, and still be exposed to upside. Of course, the risk is the upside happens in AMC, not in the new idea. That's true. That's a risk. But if you establish the loss, in 31 days, you can go back and buy AMC. But that loss has value. And it's very hard to get that across because we need to make our money back in the thing we lost it in. And I mean, a good example is GBUX for me. I mean, if I'd put $800 in January, I would be sitting on $8,000 today or more. And I mean, that's a fraction of what I lost before, but 8,000 is a lot of quid. It's a lot of quid. I looked at GameStop and AMC complete. I know, but I'm suggesting, I mean, you could simply sell AMC, buy GameStop. And my guess is if AMC starts to come back up, GameStop will go back up. The two trade similarly. But my point is, establish the loss. Here, let me put it a different way. If you don't establish the loss, 80,000 you said in AMC, and let's say AMC does remarkably, people are going back to the movies, they get rid of unrealistic movies, and you have Superman back rather than Supergirl, and all of a sudden revenues are booming and AMC goes up, and you make your AMC goes back to break even. Well, you sell, you didn't make a gain, you don't have a taxable event. Okay, but what if AMC goes to, in your case, 160,000? You double your money. Well, you're feeling pretty good. You sell it, you take your 80,000 cost basis off, you have to pay capital gains on 80 grand. I don't know, let's argue you pay half. So you get to keep 40 grand for all your effort. What if right now, and I'm just using it as an example, you sold your AMC to lock in a loss, you bought GME with the same money, and let's just say they both trade together. When GME went to an $80,000 profit, not only have you made back your money, if you were to sell there, you wouldn't have to pay any capital gains, and you would argue, well, that's the same thing as if I just stayed in AMC. Okay, fair enough. Well, if then GME goes to 160,000 and you sell, maybe you're in the same position. Maybe net you're in the same position, because you've got to pay the full capital gains on the GME, so you would pay 80 grand on 160. Well, actually, no, you'd have 80,000 in profit instead of 40,000 in profit. So you would come out ahead by swapping over to GMC. But the thing is, you only have to be out of AMC for 31 days. Then you can sell whatever you bought, go back to AMC, and you've established your tax loss. Tax losses are value. I said Kamala is going to win. Steve, I never said that. What I said is I thought they were going to cheat. And that I never once said I thought she would win. I don't think Joe Biden won. I think the Democratic Party, the media, and et cetera cheated, and something like 16 million votes that don't exist somehow got counted on behalf of Biden. I do not think Biden won. I never thought Kamala Harris would win. I believed that there was a risk that the powers that be would cheat to the extent that Kamala would be installed as president. Of course, we talk about winning, and I may have used that word, but I was very clear. And I think that, in fact, they did cheat. You can see that the House, several seats that were going to the Republicans, they took 4 weeks to count. They went to the Democrats. In the Senate, 3 seats that were that night were going Republican. They took several weeks. They went to the Democrats. I believe that Donald Trump won by more votes than what the actual count reflected. They didn't have COVID this time. The cheating worked for Kamala. Why do you think she was drunk all the time? She figured she was going to win based on cheating. So, Stephen, thank you for using your brain, and thank you for listening, and whatever. Joker is asking me, what brain do I have? I don't know, Joker. The only reason I don't. Now listen to me. I'm only going to say this once. I did not have relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Whatever. If you want to go listen to old videos, have fun. I don't want to listen to myself. You're calling me homie. I don't know why. That's fine with me. I don't care. Proud to be a homie. If it can hit 29 to 30 on GameStop, well, it could. Look, I haven't looked at the chart on GameStop. Let me look. Maybe there's a compelling case to be in GameStop right now. I would argue that GBUX has a better chance. Why? Just because it's a surprise move. They're trapped. I don't think there's any surprises that can come in GME. But, that's my point of view. Yeah, it's bounced off of the trend lines, but it's hitting resistance too. I would argue the 20-day moving average crossing to the negative on the 50-day, it doesn't look great to me. But, you know, maybe GME is setting up a bounce off the 200-day moving average. Let's go to a 5-year chart. Looks better on a 5-year than it does on a 1-year. But I think on the 5-year, GME would have to break through $35 before you would have confidence that it was going to run higher. It is over the last sort of, I guess, year time frame, less than a year, it's making higher lows. And for a while it made higher highs, but now the highs are not even breaking through the moving averages. So I don't know. I don't see a compelling reason to buy GME from the chart, but maybe GME is it's craptacular. I wrote it down. It's $27. It could. It could. All right. I'll try to go back to see if there were any questions before GME. Putting people down makes me look uneducated. Look, Stephen, and I think I've snapped at you before. I get annoyed with cowardly, paid off shills that come in to support the theft of money from markets that used to have rules which were enforced, markets that used to be fair. They're unfair now. So I snap at people. I can't always tell if it's a shill or not. Lion wants to leave this. So guys, Lion will open live at some point. I think you can go to his live. I think he's good with charts and all that. And I'm sure he can make his case with you. Oh, it's Adam Aaron. It wasn't Cohen. It's Adam Aaron. Now, Adam Aaron's AMC. I don't know. It confuses me. Ryan Cohen. Instead of talking all that caca, you could have bought $30 calls expiring March. Why would I do that? All right, I'll write that down. Joker IRL is say buy $30 GME calls for March. Okay. See what happens. Yeah, I think, Grant, on Finger, I'm not ready to say it, but the right time to look at Finger is when everyone's given up, when the stock's down, when I'd say at least 3 times before the stock rallies, I don't know, from as low as 60 cents, 80 cents, $1, $1.50. I don't know. You have to go back and look at the charts, but the stock rallies and all of a sudden is up 3, 4, 5 points. So are we close to that? We might be on Finger. Marriott was a root beer stand once. Hey, can't beat the bay. That's true. And if you guys are long-term investors, I don't have any problem with that. If you're buying GME for becoming a worldwide success over the next 30 years, that's I don't know what this means. I don't remember that. I suppose you're comparing Trump to Mussolini. Yeah, I think Ham believed Trump was going to do something. My guess is Trump does understand some aspects of the issue, but it's only a month into his term and he hasn't had everybody voted in yet. I would guess that expecting instant results was probably not a great prediction. Could have happened, but it was probably just not a great prediction. I've given you my thoughts that he should bifurcate the market into small caps versus large caps, but we'll see what happens. Guys, if you want to hear Lion's point of view, please go to his channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I don't even ask you to do that here on my channel, but I'm not telling you to buy. What I am suggesting is let me see. Are you there? What I am suggesting is that GBUX looks like it is in a short squeeze. It looks like maybe GME did look 3 years ago before GME ran. I think trying to catch fire in GME is like trying to relive the first time you kissed the little redheaded girl, and it's been years since. I don't know. I don't know what analogy to give you. I don't. Lion, I don't think I'm throwing shade at you. I'm talking about GME. If you're so sensitive that if I say something negative about GME, it throws shade at you. Tall trees in Georgia, they grow so high. They shade me so. Tall trees in Georgia, they grow so high. They shade me so. And sadly walking through the thicket I go. Look, let me be clear, Narad. I think buying GME for a squeeze is stupid. That's all I'm saying. If I have to be loyal to every suggestion Lion makes, that's just not me. He doesn't have, look, GBUX is a risky trade. If he bought it at 825 like I did, which I'm sure he didn't, I hope he didn't, he's saving money. I'm down, so I'm an idiot. But I think GBUX is in the middle of a potential squeeze. But I'm not saying to buy it. Do whatever you want. We have talked about GBUX, or at least Ham did, from under $1, and I guess that's a pretty good move. This channel is mine, and I'm sorry if I don't like GME. And I'm also sorry if by not liking GME, somehow I'm insulting Lion. I don't mean to. But we'll see. I wrote it down. $220.25, $27. We'll see what happens. And Joker says I should buy the $30 GME calls for March. We'll see if that's a good trade. And Lion never said to buy. That's true. He didn't. Lion did not say to buy. Lion did not say to buy GME. Tall trees in Georgia, they grow so high. They shade me so. All right, so Lion didn't say buy, but he did post that GME is trading at 27.23. And then whatever that stands for. You don't see me coming at you with get into GBX because it's going to squeeze. William is telling you to buy it. No, you didn't say that. You didn't say that. I never said you did. He never said to buy. Lion did say, imagine GME triggering all the tickers to squeeze. That would be freaking awesome. He said, rocket countdown, lift, rocket, red countdown, lift, rocket, red count, lift off. He's can't beat the base, said GME, rocket, rocket, rocket. Lion said, strong, strong, strong. Lion said, GME, let's effing go. Rocket red countdown, rocket red countdown, liftoff, 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 rocket red countdown, liftoff. Rocket red countdown liftoff, 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 rocket red countdown liftoff. But he didn't say bye, just be clear. He didn't say bye. Lion said GME bouncing off 27. But he didn't say bye. We have to be clear on that. I, of course, didn't bring up GME at all, but I did try to address what I think about GME. Travis said GME news. David said GME is selling some products over in France. Sell the rip. Lion said something. Lion said GME now 27.14. Holy moly. Something is definitely happening. Impending news, probably. And that's all related to GME. He didn't say buy it. It's not about how many squeezes in GME, it's the whole story behind it, which I went through my interpretation of GME. Lion said GME has a solid setup so far. It's not how many squeezes, it's the whole story behind it. And sure enough, there's a great story behind it. Lion owns the 28 calls for GME. This is what he's telling Brett Montgomery. I believe he's talking about GME for March 31st. What you doing? Big green candle. Maybe Roaring Kitty listened to him. Lion says because GameStop is moving. He didn't tell you to buy. Lion says, not for nothing, out of nowhere. GME pop. So I would agree with Lion that he did not tell you to buy GME. And I took it upon myself to yet again express my views on GME. I have not been a proponent over the last 3 years when GME was 500, 400, 300, 200, 100 of buying GME. Was I right? I don't know. The stock is $27. I did talk about other stocks that haven't worked out, but I've also tried to educate the risks. So I can't. What's the point of reading my comments? You know, guys, anyway, thank you for joining today. And we'll finish on that comment. And I really appreciate the support from Joker. And I think you should look at GME because it's bouncing and showing strength. So I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a shame that today's call ends this way, but yeah, I guess GME is a good thing to put your money in. And if you can find Joker somewhere, just follow Joker's ideas.